Heaven's California.
Hey guys, today I'm going to be reacting to Saga the Youngin video. I haven't reacted to Saga in a while. I got this suggestion from Aaden Turnbull. I don't know what the comment is right now. Here it is. Hey, you should react to Backyard Break-In by Saga the Youngin. So I haven't seen a Saga video in a little bit now, so I'm glad to be watching one. This is the longest one I'm going to see so far, I believe. This is like 11.5 minutes or something. So this is the longest one so far. I'm definitely kind of curious what's going to happen with the title. Broken in someone's backyard, I'm assuming. Okay, before I get into this video, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe if you have not yet, and be sure to turn on post notifications if you have not done that yet as well. Let's get into this video.
What's up, guys? So you probably read the title of the video and are thinking, backyard break-in, does that mean you broke into a backyard or someone broke into your backyard? And the short answer is both happened. So this is going to kind of be like a 2-in-1 story time.
So you broke into someone else and they broke into yours, maybe, or the other way around?
Is where it happened to me, or more specifically my friend, while I was at his house. And this happened when I was pretty young. I was probably around 12 or 13, and it started out, I was just chilling one Friday afternoon. I had just gotten home from school, and I remember sitting there being bored, just playing Xbox or something. And my friend texted me to see if I want to come over and hang out for a bit. And he said that some of his brother's friends were also going to be there. So I'm like, yeah, I'll be over in a bit. And his house wasn't in a bad area of town. In fact, I hung out at his house all the time, and nothing sketchy ever happened over there. Like, they actually had an alarm system, and I remember at one point he told me that it had only gone off like 3 times ever, and they were all false alarms. So I was never expecting anything sketchy to go down. So we were hanging out for a while. It's probably like 11 or 12 at night at this point. And in Arizona, a lot of the houses have pools in the backyard. I don't think that's a thing in a lot of other states. But his house did have a pool. So my friend, let's just call him Michael for the video, is like, you guys want to go swimming? Because even though it's like the middle of the night, Arizona just doesn't care, and it was still really hot out. So we get in the pool in his backyard, and we were throwing a volleyball around. And it was 4 of us. Me, my friend Michael, Michael's brother, and then his friend. And it's probably like midnight at this point. And then all of a sudden, my friend's brother is like, guys, stop making noise. Do you hear that? He goes, listen to the bushes. And they were moving. They were kind of rustling back and forth a little bit. But it was kind of windy out, so I'm like, dude, it's probably just the wind. It's nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Another 15 or 20 seconds went by, and the rustling started up again. And this time, it's to the point where, like, there's something more going on here than just a breeze. And now all 4 of us are looking over to the corner of his yard where the sound is coming from, just wondering what's about to happen. And then this dark figure comes into focus, and there weren't really any lights on in his backyard, so it was so dark I couldn't really make him out that well. But he was wearing black jeans and a black hoodie, and from what I could gather, he was a bit older than us, probably around 17, which when you're like 13,
I thought he was like
17 seems way more intimidating to you than they actually are. So we were all kind of freaked out, actually really freaked out, like, whoa, what's going on over here? And then there was this period of time
I'd be kind of scared. I'd be like,
he wasn't even doing anything except just standing there looking like Slenderman. So we were all just in the pool staring back at him, and I knew that he could see us way better than we could see him because of the light that was inside the pool. So I lean in and whisper, I'm like, are you guys seeing this? And Michael was like, yo, what's that he's got in his hand? And I look, and it was so dark we couldn't really tell, but it looked to be a gun. It was just a small, kind of long, dark object that he was holding in his hand. And I'm still not 100% sure if it was or wasn't, but I wasn't sure at the time. So now I'm thinking to myself, like, really? Are we really about to get robbed or something right now? And then Michael's brother's friend, he apparently had terrible eyesight, and I guess he couldn't tell if someone was actually there or if we were just messing with him. So he just blurts out, who's there? Who is that? In a pretty aggressive tone. And I'm thinking like, oh no, why? This guy might have a gun, like let's not try and aggravate him or anything. And he still hasn't done or said anything since he jumped over. And then he finally breaks the silence and is like, this is a nice house you guys got. Do you think I could spend the night here? And we still can't really see him clearly. But Michael just goes, no, because we don't know you. And then a second guy hops over the wall now to join him. He's also wearing dark clothes and standing in the shadows. So now it just looks like there's 2 Slendermen over there. And then he adds in, he's like, come on guys, just for one night. We just need 1 extra room. And they just kept being really persistent about it. And at this point, Michael had gotten out of the pool to go talk to them to see what the deal was. And I couldn't really hear exactly what was going on between them, but they just kept trying to convince him to let them stay in his house for the night. And then I hear Michael say, all right, let me go check with my mom about the 1 extra room. which was just kind of an excuse for him to go inside and alert his mom that
Call
there
a
were
cop
two
or
random
something.
kids trying to get into her house. So he leaves to go inside, and now it's us three and them two, and then they start walking closer, and I'm like, are they gonna try to follow him in the house? Are they gonna try and confront us? Like, I'm really not trying to get in a fight or anything right now. And then Michael comes back outside pretty quick. His mom comes out behind him, and when they saw his mom, they started to dip. And you're probably thinking, well, what's so intimidating about a mom coming out that made them run away? But looking back at it, they were probably just a couple of 17-year-old kids that weren't trying to have the cops called on them. So they just got out of there, or maybe they were already running from the cops and trying to hide in someone's house, or I don't know what their deal was, but I don't think they wanted the cops called on them regardless. So one of them just said, "Oh shoot," and they turned around and just sprinted out of there. And
I wonder if there was another guy, like something just like saying that comes out of nowhere.
But there was like a 7 or 8 foot tall wall that you had to jump to get into his yard, and it was kind of a weird wall where the top of the wall was even with the ground of the backyard, and then the sidewalk was like 8 feet below. So to get up there was like an 8-foot jump. So props to them for scaling it in the first place. That's probably why there was so much bush rustling going on. But I'll never forget, the first dude leaps down and lands the jump flawlessly and doesn't even break speed, just continues running. But the second guy tripped like right before he jumped and just free fall 8 feet down and face planted straight into the grass below. It's a good thing for him there wasn't any concrete there and it was just grass. But then he got up as quickly as he could and we just watched them both run away. And I actually ended up sleeping there that night. And we were so paranoid, wondering if they're gonna come back and try again
I would
later.
be too. I'd be like,
My friend literally showed me a drawer where he had like 3 pocket knives inside of it. And he found a bat next to his bed and was like, if we need to defend ourselves tonight, we'll do what we need to do. Now, nothing further ended up
you better
happening
close that
night.
curtain.
And looking back, we probably had no reason to be paranoid because we were probably never going to see them again. And you would think that that's where the story ends. But actually, the next morning, we wake up and I left right away, probably at like 9 a.m. And I was just so tired because we didn't really sleep at all. And when I left, Michael and his brother went to go walk down the street. And I forget where exactly they said they were going, but he texted me later that day and he's like, dude, earlier when we were walking down the street, we ran into the same 2 guys.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
wait, really? He's like, yeah, I saw them walking in the opposite direction of us, and this time without holding any suspicious-looking objects that resembled a gun. But he said they didn't recognize him and his brother, or if they did, they just kept walking by. And to this day, I still wonder what the deal with them was and why they were so persistent to stay in his house. Then that was
Probably
the last
screw
time
up
we
or
saw them,
something,
and
or got
never
killed.
saw them again since. So I was on the receiving end of a backyard break-in, you could say, in that scenario. But I was also, you could say, on the giving end in a different scenario. And this story took place many years later. I was probably around 16 or so when this happened. And the day started out with me just going to school, and one of my teachers had assigned us a group project like 3 weeks earlier, and it was due in a couple days, and my group hadn't even started on anything yet, which is the complete opposite of what you should do. But my group was sitting in English later that day, and I'm like, guys, when are we gonna, start this project? Because it's due in like a couple of days, and my one group member, let's just call him Brendan, was like, I can't do it today because I have tennis practice. And I'm like, well, how about you just join me and my other group member, let's call him Aaden, after you finish, because we're screwed if we don't do this. And I had a good grade in that class, and didn't want to just throw it out the window. So he's like, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll be over to Adam's house later. So after school, Adam and I go to his house to start working, except we don't start working because we were already friends before this project. So we just ended up getting distracted and started playing PlayStation until Brendan showed up.
Oh
Except the problem was, and I don't remember why, but Brendan, our third group member, didn't even show up at all later that night. So the group project kind of ended up going off the rails, but that's a whole nother story. But we just ended up sitting there till like 9 p.m. playing PlayStation. We haven't even pulled out the directions yet. So it's like 9 o'clock, and then his mom pokes her head in the room and is like, oh, how's progress on the project coming along? And we're like, it's getting there, And she's like, okay. And then she said she was about to make some lemonade and offered us some. And she said something along the lines of, like, it would be the best lemonade you'll ever taste. Or she said something like that. So I was low-key kind of hyped to try this lemonade, I had been sitting there for hours, my mouth was really dried out. But then she comes back in the room and was like, oh, sorry guys, I forgot I don't have any lemons left, so sorry to let you down, but I can't make it, maybe some other time.
Thanks.
So she leaves, and I was like, dang, I was kind of looking forward to being able to drink some of this so-called best lemonade I've ever had, as she put it. And then Adam is like, low-key, our neighbors next door have a lemon tree, we could go get some from them. And I'm like, it's kind of late, like, do you really think they'll answer if we knock on the door at this time? And he's like, oh no, they absolutely hate us. And I'm like, well, why would they give you their lemons then? And he goes, oh no, we're not going to ask them, we could just scale their backyard fence, grab a couple, and then hop back over. So I'm like, let me get this straight. You want us to break into your neighbor's backyard that already hates you at like 10 at night and steal their lemons just for some lemonade?
That already
what if
hates
they
you,
see
yeah,
us
that's
and
already
since
one
it's
big
late
thing.
at night, they might think we're an actual serious threat or something. And then he cuts me off and he's like, nah, it's fine. Come on. You were just saying how you wanted some of this lemonade. We'll just pick a
Yeah,
couple,
not that
and
bad.
then they'll grow back in like a week, and it'll be fine. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
alright, fine. Let's go into your neighbor's yard and get these lemons. So we leave out his back door and hop the little wall separating their two backyards, and the first thing I notice is that their house lights are on and their back door is open. And the tree is right next to their open back door. So I'm like, alright, let's hurry up and, get these lemons.
That's
so we
not
start
safe to do
grabbing
at
them
all.
off the tree, and I thought it was going to be like a quick grab and go type of mission. But he's like taking his time, examining which lemons are the best quality. And when we would pick a lemon off, you would have to pull pretty hard. And when you pulled it off, the entire tree would like shake back and forth. And it just made like the loudest sound ever.
They're
like
gonna hear it.
tremors would be sent through every leaf of every branch. And since their back door was open, they definitely heard it because some lady starts walking towards us. And I'm like, bro, they're definitely home and they know we're out here. So we hop back over onto the street side and then hop back into his yard. Lemons successfully secured. And I'm
10
like, do you
lemons
think
and
she
10
saw you
lemons,
and
you should've just got one
recognized
or
you
two.
as the neighbor she hated and probably hates even more now? And he's like, nah, I don't think so. And I was kind of thinking in the back of my head this entire time, how's he gonna explain to his mom where he randomly came up with a few lemons from all of a sudden?
True.
But when we get back inside, he gives the lemons to his mom, and he was like, yeah, the neighbors gave them to us. Which wasn't really an accurate statement. And then his mom is like, oh, you stole off their tree again? And I'm like, again? And apparently, come to find out, lemon stealing was a regular occurrence there, and his mom was in on it.
Well,
And
no
I'm
wonder
like,
they hate
well, that
them.
explains the lady's look on her face when she noticed us. Like the most annoyed, here we go again type of look ever. And I'm also like, well, no wonder your neighbors don't like you. You're always
Exactly.
stealing their lemons. But in the end, I had the lemonade, and it was some pretty bomb lemonade, I'm not gonna lie. But to anyone watching, probably don't do what we did. And, we could have easily just taken a 10-minute trip to the store and spent like 30 cents on a lemon if we really wanted it that bad. But yeah, I left later that night, our project's still at 0% completion, and got some pretty good free lemonade at the cost of having to break into his neighbor's backyard. So that's all for this animation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks in the next one.
Well, yeah, I definitely do not recommend breaking into someone's backyard. Let me just show out the first one. So, like, them breaking in, like, Saga and his friends getting broken into by those two guys with the hoods. Yeah, okay, that's what I was trying to say. And by the way, if you saw me doing this a lot, it's because my next story here. Because yesterday I was, like, throwing shit and, you don't need to know. But I was just throwing shit, so, or, like, throwing hands. Well, not like that, but you know what I mean. So basically, yeah, like, that's just sus. Like, can we stay? No. And yeah, like, 17-year-olds can be pretty scary. Like, I'm 20, and if a 17-year-old comes, I don't care if they're 3 years younger than me, from in the backyard, just standing there, like, all covered in black, and just, like, I'm gonna be scared, no doubt. I don't care if you're 10. Like, I'll be scared. I don't know if you have a weapon on you. Like, I'll probably be scared of you if you're freaking 5. I mean, maybe not 5, but 10, like 15 and up. Yeah, I mean, teenagers are pretty fucked nowadays, so you never know what's gonna happen now. So teenagers can be fucked now. So like, I was probably pretty fucked up as a teenager too. Like, not like that, not like vicious and like all violent, like robbing places and shit like that. But you know what I mean. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like. Be sure to subscribe if you have not yet, and be sure to turn on post notifications. And so you never miss any videos that I do upload. And that'll be it for this one. I'll see you guys in this one. If you have any other suggestions with Saga or any other channel, let me know in the comments, and I'll do it within a day or two. Peace out.